guys, so as with all things in trial and error for YouTube type things, here's another learning lesson that I figured out. I realized in the past couple studio vlogs that I immediately launch into stuff that I'm doing within the studio, but I don't ever actually introduce myself. So, taking a pause here for a second just to say, hi, I'm Ashley. I own a small business called Simply Cozy Treasures over on Etsy, and I figured I would just take you guys along for the ride for like the whole studio vlog type stuff because I'm already making a bunch of content through like product photos and things like that in short little clips because I have to have short little clips to show on Etsy so you guys can see my designs and things. But yep, third vlog in and I finally introduced myself. So yet again, I'm Ashley. If you're here for the chaos of watching me grow and to be a better vlogger and like content creator YouTuber, this is definitely the channel for you. Most of the stuff I do is sewing related and crocheting, and I guess if you consider it not cheating, I use the circular knitting machines to make hats and beanies and headbands. I make scarves and stuff like that. So I make a lot of handmade cozy accessories to accent your cozy lifestyle. So anything that you can think of is cozy, I've probably made it or I'm thinking about it, and I haven't posted it to Etsy yet. But I just wanted to come on and just give a quick intro, you know, holding my camera in one hand, trying to make sure that I remember that this is something that's important. And if you make it to the end of this video and I do an outro, oh my gosh, we're on our way up. You know, we're on the up and up. We're learning some things. So I will try to remember. Ashley, future Ashley, editing Ashley, make sure you do an outro. You didn't do an outro in your last one, or I guess your first two. You just kind of ended it. So let's get better. That's all we can do. All we have to do. Just get better. So I just wanted to pop on really quick and just give like I don't know, a pseudo quick update on some stuff that I was doing that I think has been pretty easy, or it's like a tip, I would say, for in terms of like small business prepping things, especially when you're one person. I think this might be a common sense thing, and this might not be relevant to a lot of people, but I found like through my trial and error phases with certain things that it's just easier to do. Anyway, so I'll quit beating around the bush about it. Basically, all I'm saying is that if you have the ability to bulk prep some stuff, so it's like I just cut out 10 sets of Pellon for all of my different book sleeve sizes. Do I need 10 sets of these right now? No, but I know future me is going to be really happy that I took the time, the extra, like, I don't know, 5-ish minutes just to cut off some extra from my Pellon bolt that I have, just so that when I'm making book sleeves in the future, this is just one small step that I don't have to do later. And it's not because it's a tedious thing, but if you sew a bunch, you know that I hate saying bulk prepping, but I guess bulk prepping certain steps makes things easier in the future for yourself. So i.e. like Pellon's not hard to cut out, especially when you already know what your sizes are going to be. But it's just so nice when you can just reach into your drawer or your cubby or wherever you have your extra materials stored, and it's already done. You're just like, oh my gosh, thank you, past self, for helping future me out, because I just couldn't be bothered to like pull down my Pellon bolt, roll out the thing, and cut it. So I just want to say, just come on and say, bulk prepping is definitely the way to go, especially if you know and you have locked in what the sizes of your products are going to be. So it's like I already know exactly what my Kindle sleeves, I say Kindle sleeve sizes, what my e-reader sizes are going to be. I now know what my medium book sleeves are going to be, and I now know what my large book sleeve sizes are going to be. So it's now a lot easier for me just to be like, oh, okay, let me spend the extra 5 minutes because I have the bolt down, and just make extras. So like technically for my project that I'm working on, I only need one small, one medium, one large, but I now will then have 9 of each of those left. So I can make 9 additional book sleeves in the small, medium, large size, and I won't have to worry about cutting the Pellon later. I normally do this with some of my fabric, especially if I know it's like a more popular book sleeve type. I will bulk prep, like cutting out all the different sizes, and then it's easier for me just to like assembly line fashion, I guess, is to come in, grab the sizes that I need, set up my heat mat and my heat press, fuse my Pellon to my outers, and then I just start going through clipping the things together, and just makes the process so much faster. It's like by far one of the things that I learned that you feel like would be common sense, but it wasn't until you're actually in it. Sometimes you can listen to a whole bunch of content creators and YouTubers and sewing experts say, hey, bulk prepping your stuff actually makes sense. But until you're actually going through it and experiencing it for yourself, you know that that's a thing you should do, but the realization doesn't sink in until you're the person that's actually doing the thing. So anyway, I talked a lot in that little clip just to come on and say, hey, bulk prep some of your stuff if you can, especially if you have your sizes locked in. So we're going to continue with the book sleeve making this week, and we're going to launch some new stuff probably next week. Depends on how things go. But anyway, I just wanted to come on and say, again, bulk prep your stuff. Also, yes, I wanted to just pop on real quick and say I don't absolutely need to cut those little stringies off, but I've just found throughout the process that it doesn't get caught up in the machine when I'm sewing on the other portions and make it more of like a rat's nest type of thing. So I find just taking the extra little, probably, I don't know, 2 minutes or so to clean up all those extra stringies from sewing the top stitch on the pockets and then on the sides helps out later when I don't have a bunch of those stringies hanging around getting caught up in the sewing stitches for later when I assemble the whole book sleeve. So I just wanted to pop in and just say that. Yep, recognize you don't have to do that because it gets buried inside when you flip the book sleeve the other way, but I find that it makes it easier when I'm actually assembling it. So anyway, I'm gonna go and go to the next step here, which is pinning inners to outers. And then the next step is, honestly, we're basically almost done. We just gotta, well, yeah, pinning inners to outers, and then we gotta sew that top stitch there, and then we'll just have to pin them all together. But we're in the finish line with these, so that's pretty exciting. So let me switch it on back down again, and then I will start pinning the outers to the inners. So as you saw in the last clip, I was playing chicken with my bobbin thread and I lost. So, and then you watched me struggle through trying to get the bobbin thread to unwind off of the bobbin winder. So that's how it is. I knew I was going to run out eventually, but I just didn't know when. And I kept looking and watching, and I was like, oh, I might have enough just to finish out the top of the large book sleeve, but apparently I did not. Anyway, the tops have all been sewn on. You don't technically need to go and cut the threads off of this, but the next part is kind of the most, I would say, crucial. You just really want to make sure that when you're putting these together, and I guess it's not really a tutorial, it's just something that I've learned through making these, is that you really, really want to make sure that when you're putting your outers to outers and inners to inners, that you line up these seams here, color to color, and then pin these first, and then start working your way around the whole outside. I just think it makes it look way cleaner. And then when you flip them, the top portion of the bag actually lines up perfectly with the color on the inside. It makes more sense when I actually have a finalized product to show you, but the inside rim actually has that nice, you know, cohesive color seam. You don't have like, it doesn't look like this when the whole pocket's actually put together. They actually line up really nice, and then you can choose if you would like to have a little color peekage, or if you would just like the solid print, your outer just to be the main show, essentially. So that part is, it's important, and I do recommend using these little clips. These are the best ones that I found. I don't like the pins, because I stab myself in the finger too much is realistically what happens. But I like these because they really hold it there. So recommend these. I think I have a pack of 100 here. I've gotten close to using all of them up, but they're not very expensive. You can get them on Amazon or at Hobby Lobby, any craft store. You'll be able to pick them up. So anyway, I'll quit blabbing, do the top down of me pinning the outers to the inners, and then we'll get over to, you know, doing the last big pass to actually making these look not just like, I don't know, long pieces of fabric. and actually start making them come together and actually look like book sleeves. So that's the most exciting part. This is the part that I love the most because you see the light at the end of the tunnel, but also you're starting to see that all of the due diligence and the prep work and the taking your time and not rushing the process actually starts to pay out. so that's really it. We did it. And I just gotta cut all these extra little stringies off and flip them inside out. And I think that's probably the part that you guys are actually really most excited about. It's the part that I like the most because I get to actually see the output of my work actually coming to fruition. And then the last thing that we have to do is doing the top stitch around the whole top, just to hold the liner and the outers together so that the liner doesn't pop back out. But my most favorite part, and then I'll quit delaying it, I'm gonna cut these little stringies off really quick, and then I will show you at least one of these already complete, and then we can all get excited together, because this is truly the best part. I've been excited about this fabric for a while, and now I'm like super excited that they're basically done. So without further ado, let's pop this Kindle sleeve one together so we can actually see it all done. So, well, I say all done, but you know what I mean. All the top stitches is the last part, but truly the end result of my little book sleeve here. Come on, liner. This is the part where it's nice to like manipulate it, make it sit where you want it to sit. Oh, I kind of like. So my liner just naturally wants to sit with a little bit of the blue poking out. I'm not going to say I hate it, but I actually think I kind of like that. But what I was saying earlier was like it's very important to make sure that your seams line up. This is what I was talking about. That little portion right there, do you see how the blue and everything lines up correctly? Just like that. It's really important that you pin those together, otherwise they aren't going to line up correctly. And sometimes, obviously, all handmade products are a little bit differently. You could pin things perfectly and they're never going to come out that way. I'm pretty sure one of these out of the 3 that we just made is going to be weird and didn't do what I wanted it to do, regardless of the fact that it's like I took my time to pin them correctly and do all of that. So what I like to do is just pull on the edges just to make sure one last time before like we officially top stitch it, to make sure everything is actually sitting where I want it to be sitting. Truly, that's what I was doing when in the last clip you saw that I was like going in and rubbing my hand completely through. I was running it all the way down these seams on the sides just to make sure that there was no holes, essentially, because again, like for some reason sometimes it happens. So as with all things handmade, but yeah, I think I'm really liking that the blue is actually popping out. I thought I was gonna want it to be sticking in, but I think I like that the blue is popping out a little bit. It gives it a little extra, and it matches my little blue flower that's right there. Oh, I like it. I like it a lot. And I'm also glad that I decided to go with the black stitch. You guys were not privy to that whole decision-making process, because like, holy cow, I hemmed and hawed about that for probably about 2 hours, and I was like, I don't know which one I want to use. Do I want to use black? Do I want to use white? Because normally with my book sleeves I'll use white. On my Midnight Bloom book sleeve is the first time I used the black, but I think that made sense because it was a mostly black book sleeve. But this one just had tiny little line art sections of black, and I was like, I kind of want to play on that, and I think it turned out. I think it was a good gamble to do the black on here versus doing the white. I think the black was a good call. Anyway, I'll quit blabbing at you. Let me flip these other ones around and I'll pop back on if there's anything to like really report on. The next clip you'll probably see is me just doing the top stitches, and then they will be done. Alright guys, we just finished out on the last step for making these book sleeves, which was doing the top stitch. So the only thing that I need to do is obviously take off the strings that are left over, but otherwise the book sleeves are completely done, and we've managed to make 3 of them for a brand new collection. I don't know what I'm calling them yet, so I'll figure that out if future me editing me has figured out what the name of these ones are going to be. Then please by all means pop them on the screen here for me. But I'm gonna clean these up, and then hopefully the weather holds out and I'll be able to do a quick photo shoot. But otherwise, I think I'm gonna end my little studio vlog here. This has just been following me behind the scenes, essentially, of making one of my book sleeves. If I feel, or if something monumental happens in like the next day or two, that I feel like it warrants me popping on here to like let you guys know about it, I will. But I just want to say thank you so much for watching. If you made it to the end, you're the very best. Please make sure that you subscribe, like, and comment, and I will see you guys next week in the next video. Bye.